Thanks for downloading this special seasonal mini-series of the Mikeysline Speaking of Suicide podcast. I'm Pennie Stuart, and with me is Shona Macpherson. And across the 12 days of Christmas, Shona is giving us some mental health tips to help us when times get tough. Shona, what's today's tip?
So today's tip is called the self-compassion break. And if you can think of a situation in your life that's difficult and causing you stress, I invite you just to call that situation to your mind just now. And don't worry, not asking you to say this out loud, but just bring that to mind. So the first part of this, part one, is acknowledging to ourselves that this is a moment of suffering. Part two is now where we're going to zoom out a little bit from our particular situation. And so Pennie, I want you to imagine now, we're sort of here in this, sounds strange, but we're here in this beautiful graveyard in Inverness in Tomnachurich. And we're sort of in the central, we're on this hill, aren't we? And we're surrounded by hills, by houses, and we can hear some traffic in the background. So if you can, Pennie, I want you in your mind's eye to imagine all of the humanity that is kind of around you just now in these houses, or driving in these cars, or even if we want to, thinking about all the people that might be listening to this podcast. And that painful emotion that you're feeling right now, I want you to see if you can imagine that all of these people in these houses, in these cars, listening to this audio, that they in some way know this feeling that you're bringing to mind right now. And see if you can get a sense of feeling that in yourself. Take your time and see if you can connect to that. Do you feel you've been able to get a sense of that?
When you say they know this feeling, is that they recognise it, or they know that I'm suffering it?
Oh, sorry, thanks for that clarification. Yeah, they know that they recognise this feeling. Yeah. And you're nodding. Yeah. And what we're doing here is that we're realising that we are not alone. In our suffering, often we can become, we pull into ourselves very much, and we feel that we're very alone in our suffering. And yet, actually, everybody struggles. This is part of our common humanity. And Pennie, you've got your hands right now holding my notes and the microphone, so you can't actually do this. But listener, if you can do this, and Pennie, if you can kind of do this in your mind's eye, as you're thinking of everybody knowing this, that we all suffer, I want you to imagine putting your hand over your heart and feeling that warmth of your hand connecting to your heart, that sort of soothing yourself as you know that suffering is part of our life. So this first part, this is a moment of suffering. The second part, suffering is part of life. It's common to humanity. Again, not to belittle our suffering, but to help us realise that we're not alone. And then the third and final part now, Pennie, if you can bring these two parts together, this is a moment of suffering. You're not alone in your suffering. I wonder if you can go into yourself and just ask yourself, what do I need to hear right now to express kindness to myself? Or how can I treat myself kindly right now? And just take your time and try almost and use your heart rather than your head to tell you how you can be kind to yourself right now. And see if anything emerges. Anything, it might be a feeling that just comes over you, or a random word, or a sense of an action that you want to do. Anything coming?
Yeah, the word that it first sprung up was you need to forgive yourself.
Right, beautiful.
Have permission to forgive yourself.
Have permission to forgive yourself. You need to forgive yourself. Oh, well, thank you for sharing that. And
you're all going to be wondering what I've done now.
We're all wondering, absolutely. And for yourselves listening, some word like Pennie had might come to you if you're able to listen from your heart. Or it might just be a sense or a feeling of kindness or care or warmth to yourself, or nothing might come to you, and that's okay too. We all experience these things differently. But so if nothing has come to you, this is really strange. I've got these notes written here, and one of them is, you could think, may I forgive myself? Another one is, may I be strong? May I be patient? May I have the compassion for myself that I need? May I learn to accept myself? So thanks for doing the self-compassion practice, Pennie. Thanks for those of you that are listening. And just a reminder, the 3 steps are acknowledging your suffering, realising suffering is common to humanity, and from our hearts asking ourselves, how can we be kind to ourselves in the way we speak or act right now? Finally, a reminder again, this is generalised tips. If you are really struggling, this does not replace professional help. Please seek that help. And thanks for listening.
Thanks, Shona. Remember, it's okay not to be okay, particularly at this time of year and in these really challenging times. So if you need someone to talk to, you can text Mikeysline on 07786 20 77 55 or contact them via Messenger, web chat or Twitter, Sunday to Thursday 6 p.m. to 10 p.m, Friday to Saturday 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Speaking of Suicide is made in partnership with Mikeysline by Adventurous Audio Limited and is supported by Mikeysline and D&D Paving Limited.